It was a sunny day. 2 school buses carried high school girls on a field trip. But then, a strange evil wind blew past. The wind sliced the buses in half. The girls inside were cut straight across their waists. Mitsuko bent down to pick up a pen. She narrowly escaped death. The bus slid forward for a short distance before slowly stopping. Shaken and terrified, Mitsuko realized she had to run away. The evil wind was so powerful, it even cut the utility poles along the road with ease. Mitsuko ran along the road, but the wind kept chasing her. On the way, she met 4 hikers. She shouted at them to get down. Sadly, it was too late. Mitsuko tackled one girl to the ground. She saved her life. Not long after, a cycling team passed by them. They were also sliced in half. To escape the deadly wind, Mitsuko rushed into the forest, but there, she found more victims killed by the wind. The girls, left with only their upper bodies, were from another school. Their mutilated corpses floated in the lake. The sight was horrifying. Mitsuko found a clean school uniform on a tree branch and quickly changed into it. Then, in a daze, she wandered into a girls' high school. From the uniforms, it was clear this was the same school as the dead girls in the forest. Here, everything looked normal. It seemed like no one knew what had happened outside. The classmates warmly greeted Mitsuko, but in fact, they shouldn't have known her. Even more shocking, her friend Aki, who had been cut in half by the wind, was alive again. Aki casually asked Mitsuko, "Why is your hair wet? That's so strange." Mitsuko was confused too. "This isn't our school. When did you start coming here?" Just then, another gust of wind blew. Mitsuko instinctively ducked, but nothing happened. Her strange reaction left Aki puzzled. Mitsuko began to wonder, was everything earlier just a dream? She told Aki what she had experienced. She said she had a dream in the morning. In the dream, the wind cut everyone in half. The wind kept chasing her. Mitsuko pointed at the tree branches swaying in the breeze outside. She grew more and more afraid as she spoke, but Aki stayed calm. She opened the window, took Mitsuko's hand, and let her feel the wind outside. Again, nothing happened. Mitsuko finally relaxed. It really seemed like a dream. She felt like she had lost her memory. If not for Aki, she wouldn't even know which class she belonged to. Besides Aki, Mitsuko was also close to 2 others, Taiko and Sur. They called her Sur because she always did surreal things. The 4 of them skipped the first class and went to the woods. After hearing Mitsuko's story, Sur said there were countless parallel worlds. Countless parallel worlds meant endless possibilities. Her experience wasn't a dream. It truly happened in another parallel world. Then, they noticed blankets and pillows laid out on the dry leaves. Whether these things made sense or not, didn't matter. The 4 girls, just like on the bus, happily started a pillow fight. During the game, Mitsuko accidentally cut her hand. Almost at the same moment, she saw 2 girls in the distance. One wore a school uniform, the other wore a wedding dress. But in the blink of an eye, they both disappeared. Sur picked up a feather from the pillow and told Mitsuko, "The time and place where this feather lands are already decided. Life is surreal. Don't let it get to you. Do things before you even realize it, like suddenly shouting in class, suddenly flipping all the desks in a room, or, like right now, suddenly jumping into the river." The second class was about to begin. The girls jogged back to school. Watching Mitsuko's back as she walked away, Sur spoke another meaningful line. "Don't lose to the surreal. Life is always surreal. If you can't handle the surreal, then you've already lost." In class, the teacher asked them what they had been doing after skipping the first lesson. Aki didn't tell the truth. She lied and said she felt a bit anemic. Hearing that, the teacher didn't press further. Mitsuko noticed a pillow on the floor. She tossed it to Aki. Suddenly, the sound of gunfire crackled through the room. No one expected it. The teacher, who had just been writing on the board, went insane. She pulled out a Gatling gun and opened fire on the entire class. Aki was riddled with bullets and died instantly. The teacher shouted at Mitsuko again, demanding to know why she skipped class. She scolded her for disobedience. In the chaos, Sur and Taiko dragged Mitsuko away. The 3 of them hid in the science lab. But even there, it wasn't safe. It seemed all the teachers in the school had gone mad. To protect Mitsuko, Taiko died. And before Sur's death, she reminded Mitsuko once more, "You must defeat the surreal." As gunfire roared, the surviving students sprinted toward the school gate. Meanwhile, the teachers' attacks grew fiercer. A girl running beside Mitsuko shouted, "Mitsuko, think! Figure out what's happening! If you don't do something now, we're all going to die." But before her words even faded, the 4 girls escaping with Mitsuko were sliced in half by the evil wind. Mitsuko fled into town. She ran into a police station to report the horror. She was so exhausted that she couldn't speak, only pant heavily. She pulled the officer to the door and pointed in the direction of the evil wind. The officer stared at Mitsuko for a long time, then her eyes lit up. "Aren't you Keiko? Why are you wearing a school uniform?" Mitsuko froze. What was happening? When she looked into a mirror, she realized her appearance had completely changed into another woman. From the officer, she learned that the 2 of them were classmates. Both of them were already 25 years old. Before Mitsuko could process this, The officer added, "Today is your wedding day. You must not be late." Then she dragged Mitsuko into a patrol car and drove her to a chapel. There, Mitsuko saw Aki again. Although Mitsuko's face had changed, Aki recognized her immediately. She whispered, "No matter what name you go by now, today is your wedding day." Mitsuko wanted to know what was really happening, but Aki told her it wasn't the right time to explain. She warned Mitsuko to stay quiet. "They're all watching us." But in the room, there were only the two of them. Faced with Mitsuko's confusion, Aki seemed to be hiding something. She said the time hadn't come yet. Then Aki revealed her incredible fighting skills. She killed the guests who stormed in. Even the female officer was kicked to death by her. Under Aki's guidance, Mitsuko joined the battle too. After the fight, Aki handed Mitsuko a broken bottle to take into the chapel. The wedding officially began. Mitsuko walked into the hall holding the broken bottle. At first, the guests all looked normal, but in an instant, they went completely insane. They screamed and shouted, and even started taking off their clothes. The biggest shock was the groom. He turned out to be a pig-headed man standing inside a coffin. The guests pushed a huge cake into the room and urged Mitsuko to kiss the groom. Of course, Mitsuko refused. She stabbed the pig-headed man in the neck with the broken bottle. Mitsuko went wild. She slashed at the guests who couldn't escape in time. In the chaos, Aki came to take her away. But at that moment, the two teachers who had massacred the school turned into killers, blocking the door. Luckily, Mitsuko and Aki were skilled fighters. After a few rounds of combat, they defeated the killers. Out on the street, the two of them felt something following close behind. Aki told Mitsuko to run ahead. She stayed behind to cover her. As Mitsuko kept running, she came across a girl who greeted her. The girl was running in a marathon. Confused, Mitsuko ran along with her. By now, Mitsuko had changed again. She had become Izumi, a marathon runner. Her teammate told her not to look back, but to keep her eyes on the road ahead. One of the girls then said something strange. She asked, "Mitsuko, you're not thinking about anything right now, are you? We're your running partners. We've been running together since a long time ago. Back in elementary school, you were faster than us. You even won first place." Even though Mitsuko had no memory of this, under their encouragement, she seemed to accept this new identity. She ran hard toward the finish line. Soon, Mitsuko saw Sur, Taiko, and Aki, but along with them came the killers and the pig-headed man. Aki and the others stayed behind to distract them. Mitsuko climbed up a slope and reached another section of the track. At the end of the road was an abandoned brick kiln. There, Mitsuko met a schoolgirl. The girl led her to a group of dead students. Smiling, the girl said, "Can you die? As long as you live in this world, everyone else will die. You should die." The girl walked toward Mitsuko with a knife. She grabbed Mitsuko's hair and shouted angrily, "It's all your fault! Everyone died because of you!" At the crucial moment, Aki appeared. With one strike, she took down the furious girl. Aki pulled Mitsuko through the crowd of corpses. The dead students only stood still. They didn't explode or move. As they neared the exit, Aki told Mitsuko to keep repeating her own name. Little by little, Mitsuko regained her lost memories. She finally found her true self again, and she returned to her original form. When Mitsuko calmed down, Aki stretched out her hands. She revealed the wires buried under her skin. Aki told Mitsuko, "The world you are in now is completely fictional. Only you can get out, because you are the main character here. If you can't escape, you will be trapped forever, killed again and again. The real exit must be created by you. The way is to tear open my body." Although Mitsuko couldn't bear to do it, in the end she followed Aki's words. As the wires were pulled out, Aki's body was ripped in half. Through the passage that appeared, Mitsuko left the brick kiln. She passed through a kitchen and entered an alley. A group of shady-looking men were gathered there. They were staring at a game poster on the wall. On the poster were 3 girls, Mitsuko, Keiko, and Izumi. It turned out this virtual world was only a game. Everyone except Mitsuko was just an NPC. Then, a well-dressed young man appeared. He asked Mitsuko, "Don't you remember me? Not even my name? I can't believe you actually came here." The man told Mitsuko, "This world is not the same as the old one you used to live in." Mitsuko didn't understand. Her vision went dark, and she fainted. When she opened her eyes again, she was back in the abandoned brick kiln. On the walls stood girls in school uniforms, wedding dresses, and marathon outfits. Clearly, they were all forms she had seen in the game. At the far end of the kiln, an old man with flowing white hair was playing a video game. On the screen appeared the very scenes Mitsuko had just lived through. Then he said something that left Mitsuko stunned. He told her she was now in the future. 150 years ago, he had admired her at school. After she died, he took her DNA and that of her friends to create clones for his game. He revealed that his greatest wish was to sleep with her, and this final stage was designed to fulfill that desire. Then the younger man from before appeared, apparently a younger version of the old man. He took off his pants and lay on a bed, beckoning her to join him, while the old man urged her forward. Faced with this coercion, she remembered Sir's advice. Life is surreal, don't let it get to you. She chose to resist. She tore open a pillow and smothered the young man with it, feathers flying everywhere. Then she grabbed the old man's cane and stabbed herself in the chest. At the same time, Keiko stabbed herself with a broken bottle, and Izumi killed herself, each in their own reality. These deaths were not weakness, but their final rebellion against control. In the end, Mitsuko awoke in a snowy field with no one around. She ran into the distance, signifying that the game was finally over.